Hello everyone. Welcome to YouTube channel. Friends, in today's video we are talking about total agricultural loss from Ukraine and Russia war. Must watch this video. Please subscribe this channel. Ukraine's agricultural sector has lost about $4.3 billion due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This has been found in a new study by a Kyiv School of Economics AgroCenter. Because the world is facing a global food crisis escalating from the war. Following the report, the United Nations warned that the war could lead to famine due to a Russian naval blockade in the Black Sea, which stopped the export of millions of tons of Ukrainian grain. The Russian invasion has affected Ukraine's ability to produce agricultural products to feed 400 million people around the world, said Roman Nader, a researcher at the Center for Food and Land Use Research at the Kyiv School of Economic Institute, who has it said that without the restoration of lost assets, Ukraine would struggle to reclaim its role as a global food supplier. Ukraine's economy is projected to shrink by 45% due to war damage, while millions of people around the world face food shortages, researchers said. 2.4 million hectares. How many winter crops can be harvested unharvested because of the war, which is worth about $1.4 billion. Ukraine plays a large role in supplying the world with many agricultural products. The U.S. According to statistics from the Department of Agriculture, the country is the world's fifth largest exporter of wheat, the fourth largest exporter of corn and the top exporter of sunflower oil and meal. According to the United Nations, after Ukraine suspended port activity at the start of the war due to a Russian blockade, about 20 million tons of shredded grain were trapped in the country. Ukraine estimates that grain exports in May were down 64% compared to the same period last year. US and United Kingdom officials also backed reports last week that Russia stole Ukrainian grain to ship it around the world for its own benefit. Russia has denied the reports, although satellite imagery from Maxar Technologies shows Russian ships bringing stolen grain. The Kyiv School of Economics estimates that Russia's invasion last month cost Ukraine up to $600 billion in total, with $92 billion in damage to its infrastructure. President Joe Biden said in a speech that he was working closely with European allies to move 20 million tons of grain locked up in Ukraine to help reduce food prices. Biden said grain cannot be transported through the Black Sea because it would run out of water, so allies are working to develop a plan to export grain by rail. US and European partners are working with Ukraine to build temporary silos bordering Poland to move grain out of the country and around the world. We have taken all this data from the Forbes website. The link to the website is in the description of the video. Impact of the Ukraine-Russia war on the meat and livestock value chain. The Ukraine-Russia war is affecting an already tense global supply chain and increasing volatility in commodity markets. Impact of war has market consequences worldwide. Rupert Claxton shares the global economic impact of the Ukraine-Russia war on the energy, fertilizer, feed and livestock markets. Russia produces 13% of globally traded fertilizer value, 23% ammonia, 21% potash, 14% urea. As fertilizer prices are rising and margins are tight, farmers are likely to buy or preserve less of the fertilizer they already have, which means potentially lower yields, lower exports and higher grain prices globally. Both Russia and Ukraine are large producers and exporters of oilseeds and cereals, especially wheat. Prices were already rising prior to the invasion due to weather events, supply chain disruptions and input costs, but trade limitations and reduced production add to additional challenges. GEAR's Rupert Claxton says to take a step back and look at long-range data to put prices in perspective. We can learn from what we have seen before. Meat market for all. Claxton explained the immediate impact of the war centers more on higher feed costs compared to meat. Chicken is Ukraine's primary protein commodity, and production has plummeted due to energy cuts, supply chain disruptions and labor shortages. Claxton isn't concerned about the direct impact of meat supply globally since other countries can backfill the need with Ukraine's approximately 500,000 tons of lost protein, mostly chicken, halted in the export market. This is coupled with global consumption declining as inflation and higher gas prices squeeze disposable income.
Policy implications of Russia's aggression against Ukraine on agricultural market.
Against Ukraine has been weakening Ukraine since February 2022. Ability to harvest and export. Ukraine is the world's largest producer of sunflower seeds. It is also a major exporter of wheat, rapeseed, barley, vegetable oil and maize. No major disruption in crop production is expected in Russia, but uncertainty remains about this. The ability to export, although international sanctions have so far exempted both food and fertilizer. Russia is the world's largest exporter of wheat and a significant exporter of barley and sunflower seeds. Russia is also a major exporter of energy and fertilizers. Decline in export potential from Ukraine and Russia, and rising energy and fertilizer prices are driving up international food prices, threatening global food security. Test result. This summarization suggests that Ukraine's ability to simultaneously export has suffered a complete loss. A 50% reduction in Russian wheat exports could lead to a 34% increase in international wheat prices in the marketing year 2022-23. In the short term, the focus should be on providing military aid to enable Ukraine. Agricultural exports. In addition, international trade in food and fertilizers should remain open. Enable necessary trade adjustments and prevent war from escalating global food insecurities. Measures aimed at increasing the supply of agricultural products or reducing their demand. This should also be considered, but these are more effective in the medium term.
Of Ukraine and Russia to global agricultural and input markets. Ukraine and Russia are among the most important producers and exporters of arable crops in the world, especially cereals and oilseeds. However, the production of animal products mainly supplies their household products market. Russia and Ukraine contributed an average of 10% and 3% of global wheat production over the past 5 years, respectively. Russia and Ukraine are the first and fifth largest wheat exporters, accounting for 20% and 10% of global exports respectively. Both countries play an important role in the supply of wheat globally. Markets including the Middle East and North Africa region, where wheat is the main staple food. Ukraine and Russia together account for less than 5% of global maize production, with Ukraine largest part. Since domestic consumption is limited, most of their production is exported. Ukraine is third major exporter of maize to global markets. Russia and Ukraine are also large producers and exporters of other cereals, especially barley. Overall, Russia and Ukraine account for 20% of global barley production, and are third and fourth. The largest exporters use a large part of the barley produced in the two countries respectively as fodder in domestic animal husbandry. Russia and Ukraine are also major producers and exporters of oilseeds, especially sunflower seeds. Ukraine is the world's largest producer of sunflower seeds, followed by Russia. Together, their marketing accounts for more than 50% of global production on average in the years 2016-17 to 2020-21. Most of the produce is crushed domestically into sunflower oil and meal. Sunflower oil is also exported. In the global market, Ukraine and Russia account for 50% and 25% of the global sunflower oil exports, respectively. Represent Russian and Ukrainian production of rapeseed and soybeans. Less than 5% of global production. Nevertheless, Ukraine is the third largest exporter, given limited domestic demand, of rapeseed globally. Ukraine is also the largest exporter of soybeans outside the U.S. and plays distinctive role in global markets, as it is the largest non-GMO exporter. Russia also plays an important role in the global energy and fertilizer markets. It is the world's top natural gas exporter, second largest oil exporter and third largest coal exporter, 20%, 11% and accounting for 15% of global exports respectively in 2019. Russia is also the world's top exporter of nitrogen fertilizers, and the second and third leading suppliers of potassic and phosphorus fertilizers, respectively, accounted for more than 15% of global fertilizer exports in 2020. Russia's aggression. Given the importance of Russia and Ukraine to global agricultural and input markets, there are significant and potentially long-lasting implications for further political reactions against Ukraine. Producers and consumers. Less grain and oilseeds export availability from Ukraine is increasing international food and feed prices. In addition, global energy and fertilizer prices have increased there, related to an already high level of availability due to Russia's aggression and the resulting uncertainty. Russian energy and fertilizers globally. Since the agri-food sector is highly energy-intensive, growing energy and fertilizer prices are translating into higher production costs and contributing to the rise in food prices.